if you want them to be open to hear what you have to say, then make it safe to be open. Nobody's gonna be able to be open if they're gonna get stung. So, that's why empathic listening is important and empathic speaking. Speak in a way that you would like to be spoken to.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to School of Love, where we want to help you create parent child relationships where you can talk about anything, especially about sex. And yeah, and also, sometimes when we talk, things get tense on different topics. And so today we have Bento Leal to help us out with that. He is a relationship skills trainer and author. Yeah, welcome, Bento.
Thank you, Amelia. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so today our topic is parenting, communicating well when things get tense. And, yeah, what what can you say about that,
Well, maybe
for
by way
us?
of introduction, briefly, I can who's Bento Leal? What's he got to say?
Exactly, yeah.
Uh, well, I'm here in Northern California as we speak, and, I'm married, and I've got, 3 adult kids, and, one's married, one's engaged, and the other one's about to get engaged, and, anyway, the bottom line is, I've been in the relationship skills field for the past 20 some odd years, working with a couple of nonprofit organizations here in California that had federal grants to teach relationship skills for mainly parents, couples, because they were concerned about the outcome for the children. And if the parents don't do well, then kids tend to suffer from medical, you know, other kind of social problems that come out if mom and dad aren't doing well. So I would do a lot of relationship skills classes, and including responsible fatherhood classes, active dads, not just in the
Mm,
house, being engaged with the kids. And so I really love this field because it helps me put my philosophy of living for the sake of others and caring for other people in actionable terms, things that you
uh-huh.
actually do to make those things come true. So very happy to be here. And I've written a few books. One, and I might as well plug it right now. Go to bentoleal.com. You'll see my book, Four Essential Keys to Effective Communication in Love, Life, Work, Anywhere. And it's bentoleal.com. And um, it's a Amazon bestseller for the past 9 years in several categories. And I've written several other books, but it's my field. It's what I love to do. So when you approach me, Amelia, about, hey, Mr. Leal, can you talk on the point of communicating well when things get tense, especially parent-child relationship, or when things are frustrating or whatever? Can you speak to that? And the answer is, yeah, I'd be happy to do that. So that's by way of little intro about me, and I'm passionate about this area. And if you'd like, I can just go into some of the key pieces or steps of good. How do you express yourself? Is that what you would like? Somebody
Yes,
talk about
yes,
something like that?
let's
Okay. Well,
unpack this, yeah.
as I mentioned in my book, and then this is also in other relationship skills, interpersonal communication curricula out there. I didn't invent what I'm going to tell you, but I really get into them in kind of my own way. The first thing to do is to pause your emotions. Calmly clarify and organize your thoughts before you speak. Yeah, I say if you blurt, you could hurt. If you just
Mm,
shoot out emotionally, and then your brain catches up later saying, Why'd you say that? Now they're running for the hills or they're closing down, and you just spoke too impulsively without just pausing to just cycle it through and say it more clearly. So pause and think before you speak. That's pretty common. And then no matter what, express with respect. And especially, I'm sure, or I'm guessing most of the audience here are dealing with children that are older than 4 or 5 years old, although you may have those too. But when they start getting teenager, young adult, uh, you got to treat them as an emerging human being becoming an adult. And the goal is to get our kids off of training wheels so that they can actually navigate life on their own when we're not there, and they can make good choices, and they're going to be interacting with people for the rest of their life. So how to teach good relationship skills. So the first thing is clarify and organize your thoughts before you speak. Secondly, express with respect, as I just said, and make your points clear. Don't be vague about what you're saying. Just be very clear. Um, Don't expect the other person to read your mind because they might misread it. Um,
Totally.
and then pause and listen for the listener's response to what you've said. And, and, hopefully they get it right. If they didn't, you could say, "Well, it's more like this than what you thought," and you can clarify, and then, thank them for listening. So, clarify and organize your thoughts before you speak. Express with respect, even if you're upset, and then, express your points clearly, pause and listen to their response, and then, thank them for listening to you. Those are I find to be the 5 key points of how to express yourself. And
Mhm.
when you're upset, one way to do this, because instead of an accusatory or a judgmental, you do this, you're an idiot, why do you do that? Instead of a finger pointing you, um, use what we call an I message. When I package that in XYZ, X means when you did this or when you said that, that's the X. Then its impact on me is the Y, or even what I perceive as the impact on you is the Y, and then Z is my feelings about it. So, the way that that would work for parent-child, for example, would be when when you don't when I ask you what's going on at school or your life and you don't share with me, that's the X, then I don't know where you're coming from. I don't know how I could help you and be of some assistance. That's the why. And its impact on me is I feel frustrated, even sad about that because I'm your dad or I'm your mom and I care for you and I just want to be here for you. So that's an XYZ message, like I feel sad or frustrated versus why don't you talk to me? Why
Mhm.
don't you talk to me? And then they shut down. And they
Yeah.
might say, well, I don't talk to you because you never listen to me. And sometimes a parent's got to say, I know when you share with me in the past, if it's true, if this is true, you've shared with me in the past and I would give a lecture, I'd preach at you, you'd shut down. I get it now. I understand. I thought I was doing the right thing. I
Mhm.
realized in the past I wasn't a very good listener. I was listening more to fix or to guide or to, you know, scold or to preach when actually I didn't really listen to understand. And I apologize for that. So I find it I mixed a few things together there, but one is the key points of listening skill in general, or speaking skill in general, and then how do you share some things when you're upset or frustrated or angry or concerned? How do you do it in a way that uh, lets them be open and safe to share what they want to say without being impaled with a lot of unsolicited guidance or or things? So I've given a little roundabout there. Amelia, do you have any question about what I've said so far? I know you've got some thoughts on this subject you wanted to bring up, but
Yeah.
take it from there. What do you
Yeah. I mean, I love it. I love what you said, and yeah, like these ways to remember it. When you blurt, you hurt. It's great to remember these things. And I mean, I think a lot of it is really practice because, like you said, a lot of us, um, we listen to fix or we listen to, to guide, and we think we're doing something right there. Um, so I guess kind of this dilemma, yeah, what can you say to this parent, to us parents? We want to be there to listen, and we are listening, and we have parked our coach or guidance or mentorship somewhere while we're listening, but
Mhm,
when is it okay to pick that up again? Because yeah, some things, our child may share, it might be really sensitive,
mhm,
and some
mhm.
things we can't stay silent on.
Right, right. Um, well, that's a good point. So when is the right time to share or if I read you right, when is the right time to share or even instruct or give your thoughts or opinions of something. Not just be. First of all, be a good listener. Number one, that I'll get to your point of how do you express yourself, but listen to listen first to make sure you understand. If you're listening, preparing to fix, you might be thinking of your fix while they're speaking,
Mm,
and because you're not getting all the information, your fix might be fixing the wrong thing because you weren't
yeah.
listening all the way through. So park your fix-it thoughts and your well-intentioned advice because you're trying to help your child. You want to heal their pain or make them comfortable. And so you're thinking of all these good things that you think are going to help them, but park those for the moment. Make sure you just understand them. And then you could say back the essence of what you heard. Okay, so you feel this, you feel that. Did I get it right? Am I understanding it correctly? If you just nod your head to what they've said, they might think, well, you got what I said. But you might be
Mm.
nodding your head at a misinterpretation of what they said. And I know this is with couples all the time. So parent child is same. It's good to say back the essence, especially an emotional or important topic. Okay, you said this, you feel this. Did I get it right? Um, is there more? You can also add that. And then once that's done, and depending on the age of your child, a 3-year-old is different than a 13, and a 13 is different than a 23. They're all your child, but obviously there's a 20-year gap between this one and that one. So your goal is to guide and then ultimately teach good choices so that eventually they're on their own. They're off the training wheels. And you've taught them some good skills along the way, but you don't take them off the training wheels too early. But at some point, you take them off the wheels. You don't tell them what to do the rest of their life. So to get to your point, when is the right thing to say, especially if it's a teenager? Is that pretty much a primary target audience that you think? What is the age group that you think is most involved in your podcast? Would you think it's middle school on up to young adult, or what are we dealing with here, generally speaking?
I mean, I'm I'm hoping all parents feel welcome on this podcast,
Okay,
but
everybody feels welcome. Okay.
everyone
Well,
be welcome here.
okay. Well, then
Yeah.
as early as you're able, when a child becomes more cognitive to be able to process language and process meaning of language, and their kids are really paying attention to your tone of voice.
Mm,
They're getting emotion oftentimes more than they're getting uh, a vocabulary.
mhm,
They're watching mom and dad's tone and temperament, whatever. And especially when you're upset, they may not be hearing anything. They might be just thinking, "Am I going to get hit? Am I going to get hurt?" And so you're trying to instruct this or that or the other thing. They're not hearing it because your rage is so strong. It's scary. So that's another thing to watch out for is calm down, mom and dad. Calm down. You're setting a standard, a pattern of you want to create an environment of safety so they can respond properly to what you have to say. But if they're scared, they're going to shut down and be ready to run. But um, you can say, especially if a more cognitively developed child, when you've heard them all the way through, then you can say, I have some thoughts on that I'd like to share with you. Would you like to hear it? Now, that's a request, an invitation rather than you should do this, you should do that, which really
mm.
comes raining down like, I'm gonna tell you what you're supposed to do. Nobody likes to be used should. And as an adult, I don't like an adult to tell me you should do this, you should do that. I like it if somebody respects me and says, I have an idea on that. Would you like to hear it? Well, that keeps me in charge. Okay, yes or no. I'd like to hear it or not. But when you do that with say a more cognitively developed child, let's just say moving on into 8, 9, 10 years old, getting to middle school and really developing their wherewithal to navigate not only you, but school and other kids and the world around them, um, then if you say, I have a thought, if I have a thought on that or I've had an experience with that was very helpful for me, I'd like to share with you. Would you like to hear it? That's very respectful terminology. And in most cases, if it's shared well, they might say, okay, I'm open. Or they might say, I don't know, I don't, not right now. Okay, then you say, okay, so you're not ready to hear it right now. But when you are, I think it may be very helpful for you. Now, is that okay so far? Did that make sense? Okay, so you want to ask rather than rain down your great advice or instruction. Um, if you ask, is now a good? Would you like to hear it? um, that really elevates them. That feels mom and dad respect me. They're treating me not necessarily as an age equal, but as a human equal. And it dignifies them and it allows them to, because they got the issue, they got the concern. And you're in this mode, you're kind of becoming a consultant to your child. I have some thoughts on that. Would you like to hear it? It raises them. It teaches them by example how to be a good listener, and they'll use that later in the rest of their life. Um, so yeah, that's a consultative parent. But in the beginning, when your child is young, you give instructions. Don't play ball in the street. You're not asking them, "Would you like to hear my reasons why you're not supposed?"
Right.
You can say, you know, "Don't do that because the cars are coming, so you can't do that." So I'm concerned that you're gonna accidentally the ball's gonna go in the street and you're gonna run after it without seeing the cars coming. So you don't do that. So as a parent, you want them to play in the backyard in the first place. You don't wanna get them in harm's way in the beginning. But as they grow beyond, just instructional period to then collaborative, consultative mode, then, that's how you be a parent. If your kids are with you, say, till they're 20 or they're 18 or 25, you're gonna be their parent for the rest of their life, and if you live to be 80 and they live to be and they're 55, you're gonna have a long-term relationship with them. That relationship is built in the home. When they're up and out of your house, they don't have to see you, but you would like them to see you. You would like them to go, but it a safe environment is created in the home first, and it goes out. If it's not safe in the home, then they're gonna feel it's not safe to talk to my parents. They just always tell me they don't listen, and they don't have
Um,
to show up for anything after that by law. They don't have to come home. But you want them to love you and to think that, wow, mom and dad are always great because they listen, and I always find they're a good person to go to if I have an issue. And many times, if a parent is just a good listener, the child takes these emotions that are not in word form and assigns vocabulary to them to be clear to you, the parent, but it comes clear for them as the person because it was all fuzzy. But by talking with you and you being a good sounding board, many times they can connect the dots and think, I think I know what I need to do now. Thanks for listening. And you're thinking, I didn't do anything, but you gave them an
right.
opportunity to clarify their own thinking. So I gave you a bunch of stuff there, Amelia, but that's basically respectfulness. I think that's it. And treat your child well and make it safe for them to express themselves without thinking, gee, I hope I don't get a big lecture come blow back at me right now. I don't want to
Yeah.
be preached at. They got to feel it's safe to talk with you about without getting deluged with a bunch of stuff. Is that
Yeah.
all
Yeah, yeah. I like that, and I mean, I like this idea of when like what you just said now, when kids kind of just have so much trust that they can listen to they can talk to their parents, and sometimes it just spills out, like their own guidance will spill out of their mouths or clarity.
Yeah.
I think it's such an amazing thing. Like you can really see how their beautiful conscience is there, and I believe our kids have that. Sometimes we forget that sometimes as parents, like our kids, they have beautiful souls, and sometimes we see it, sometimes we forget, and yeah, we can gain so much by really trusting that God is working through our kids. God is raising our kids too, and yeah, if we can just really be that listener that
Yeah.
can really, yeah, just be present. That is so valuable. Um, I
Yeah.
believe that's true.
Yeah. Be available, be present, like you say, and kind of like be the dock when they're on the ocean and the boat and the winds are flying and the waves are running. I can always go back to home, home meaning not only house, but mom and dad, mom, dad, because that's stable. And I
Uh-huh.
can moor there and I can be free. I can be safe. and I'm not gonna get waves from my parents either. It's gonna be a safe place to dock and just be me, and, then greater honesty can come out. I know that one of the challenges these days is, people on the internet and pornography and everything else trying to attract them. I mean, I didn't have a cell phone when I was a kid. Heck no. But, now, even if mom and you can have you can try to put all the safeguards in place, but there's still so many ways things out there to grab attention, and, kids can get cloudy in a hurry, and it can get
Mm.
dark in their world without you obviously seeing everything, and to know that mom and dad are safe, to talk to honestly, even if you don't like to hear what they have to say, and you scold them out of the first 3 words of their mouth, they're gonna shut down. But if they're able to say what they're dealing with, and you are calm, and you are, in a sense, gonna be neutral here, "Okay, well, tell me more." So that's been really challenging for you. And you don't want them to get off that stuff, but you're not hammering them. You're saying, but then you might be able to say, "Okay, so you feel this and this and that. Um, I have some concerns about that because I think that, that can lead to this, that, or the other thing." But you wanna listen all the way through. You wanna be safe a safe place. I learned most of these things when my kids were grown. I gotta tell
Mm.
you, what I'm telling you now is stuff I've learned in the last 20 years. I'm 76 years old. So when I was 56 and my kids were grown and I thought I did a great job, I'm learning all these skills. I think, "Dang, man." And then I spent a lot of my life saying, when you were younger, I'm teaching a lot of things right now that I didn't know when you
Mm.
were coming up. And I apologize to my kids, even one on one. I'm sorry that when you were dealing with this thing or that thing, I really didn't get it. I told you do this, I told you do that, and I thought I was doing right, but I'm sorry if I hurt your heart by not I'm really sorry.
Mm.
And you know what? I'm sincere about that. It also teaches you're never too old to learn. Because what some people might think, once you get kinda old, you calcify and you're stuck into who you are, and you're not gonna change. But I feel I'm still a student of life, and, if I got something to say and I've learned something that I think I didn't do right before, an apology can really open up a lot of doors. If anybody's listening here and you think, "Oh, I already blew it with my kid," and you think you've learned a few things, by this, uh, presentation or anything else you've heard, you can always tell your child, "Hey, can we talk for a moment? I've learned a few things that I wish I knew when you were younger, and I realized that when I said this or did that, um, I probably hurt your heart, and I'm sorry. Would Can you tell me more about your feelings at that time?" And then you listen, and there's no excuse. "Well, the reason I did that was this. The reason I did" No, 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 no. Just own it. Say, "I'm sorry," without the "but," you know? "But I did it for your own good." Um, so you can recover and restore a relationship you think is you wounded something somehow.
Mhm.
So you're a available parent for the rest of their life. I have one of my daughters, a couple of my girls. I got a boy and 2 girls, okay? Daughter on the way to work, she's work at some tech place in, Silicon Valley, and then, she say, she'll whatever's going on, and she'll text me later, "Hey, thanks for listening. I really appreciate it." And, I probably wouldn't have listened 30 years ago. Like,
Mhm.
I've learned that listening is its own ointment. It allows the person to get the gas out. You just gotta get it out, get the gas out, and hear themselves get it out, and then, "Thanks for listening." "Well, honey, thanks for sharing. I'm always here for you." That's all they need. Anyway,
Yeah.
more and more. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Emily. What else you got?
Yeah,
What do you think? What do you think?
I love this ointment, listening ointment.
Listening is
Um, yeah, it just makes me think, like, I connecting with friends, like, similar ages as me, I just, I hear from my friends, how lots of us, we went through tough times in our young adulthood. And I think so many of us just never even thought of asking our parents, for help, whether it was, struggling, so maybe pornography, but maybe even just finding a path or even with
Mhm.
studies, lots of people get lost in this university time.
Yeah.
Um, or maybe it's even within a blessed marriage relationship, we can all get lost in some way. And I feel like, yeah, what you were talking about, building up this listening relationship with our kids, this is also preparing us for that time when they are, young adults or even adults, if we're 80 and they're 50 or something, there's still things in life that uh, that are challenging. And if we can just have this mentorship with our parents, I think, we could feel a lot safer. And
Yeah.
if we can build that up for our kids, we're doing something not only for them, but for the next generation,
Yeah.
for their kids as well. So yeah, this is really.
Well, you're modeling that's right, you're modeling for them, for themselves, but also as they turn around and become a parent, then they'll if mom and dad are you and me as well, anybody, the parent, if you're a good listener to your child, then when they have kids, they'll learn from experience, this is a great way to parent. It's a great way to to be there. And I think, be the available parent. I think I like the term available, not just physically available, but be a safe place for them to
Mhm.
honestly share stuff that may scare the heck out of you, that may hurt your heart, that may go against things you believe, and they're doing this and doing that. But instead of getting judgment and accusation, they get understanding from mom and dad. Um, you're not saying it's okay what they did. You're not saying, "Oh, that's great that you did pornography or you did this or that." But you're safe to go to. And then once they feel heard, then if there's something that you think you wanna share, then you can say, "I am concerned about that because, um, I love you, and I think if that continues, it's gonna really hurt you in the long run. It's gonna hurt you now. And so I would hope that you'll be able to happy to work together with you to get the help you need to overcome that, but I want you to know, I'm talking to my child. I want you to know I love you no matter what, and I'm always here, and there's nothing you could ever do that would change my love for you. I love you 1,000%, period. That will never change. And so that can go a long way for the child that's feeling very guilty that if I
Mhm.
share this to my loving parents who think I'm such a good kid and this and that, and I share this dark stuff with them, will they love me less? Do they love the image of what they want me to be, or do they love me as me?
Right.
Of course, we like a nice image. I like a nice image of myself. But just like with self-love, which is an important topic, we gotta love our kid just no, no, my love for you is indestructible. It just gets deeper over time, and there's nothing that can happen. And actually, that's God's love for us. If that's not God's love for us, we're in trouble. Because most of us have done something. God could have packed it in a long time ago. He said, "Well, I'm gonna send
Oh,
a
yeah.
massive asteroid now. I'm gonna get rid of that Earth and make a new one." But,
Mhm.
um, but, you know, that's the ultimate parental heart is the heart that says, "Hey, no matter what you've done, I'm your God and I love you." And period. And so we're counting on that. So we wanna model that. So I've been learning a lot about this, and you go through your ups and downs and you learn through your experiences, but we're all fellow travelers. I've probably got more mountains ahead of me still. I climbed some mountains and this and that, but maybe some of the biggest ones are still ahead of me. Something I
Mhm.
haven't even seen yet. How am I gonna handle those? The unforeseen, Well, you practice now on the good things and maybe give you strength at that time.
Right. Never stop learning.
Never stop learning. Heck no.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm wondering what you would have to say about, so some of us, even myself, I can say I have learned a lot in my time as parenting. I mean, you have much more experience than me, but even in my time, my oldest is 13 now, and when she was young, I did already a lot of things that I regret, and I'm sorry for that, and so on. But I'm just wondering if you have something like if maybe we have a cycle of we have been reactive. People, our kids shared with us, and we've blurted out instead of we've blurted and hurted. Um, so we want to change that. Do you have any advice? Like, how can we? Because maybe it is emotional, maybe it's, um, or we're shocked, or something. So, how can we practice not blurting and hurting? You know?
Yeah, it's not easy. It's easy to talk about this on a podcast when everything's nice and calm. We got our cup of coffee. We're
Yeah.
chilling out. But when things happen in the moment, what do you do? Um, I think we practice during the peacetime so that when wartime comes up, we're ready to go. So, be a good listener,
Mm.
especially your daughter's 13. That's really now entering that spot that I'm talking about. Now it's they're moving toward uh, independence or developing the character of independence. They're still within your realm, uh, but as a parent, as the mature quote unquote adult, but they're moving in a place of uh, a more collaborative communication style where you just can't talk down to them all the time, even physically. They may even be taller than you. So, or you're is
Happening
she? I
soon,
don't
yeah.
yeah. I mean, you know, and but depending on the situation, if you think it's appropriate, honey, I just want you to know. I don't know what your love language is here. Honey, I say honey to my girls, okay, and my wife. But whatever it is, whatever the term of endearment is that you might have, if you have one. Honey, I just want you to know, I'm always here for you. And I know sometimes I haven't been a very good listener. I'm learning a lot, and I apologize if I haven't done that very well, especially when you're younger. But now you're a young lady now, and I respect you for that. And I have also been a young lady, and it's not simple time. It's more complicated maybe now than when I was a kid. I'm talking on behalf of you now. So
Thought
it
so,
seems to be
yeah.
getting more seems to be getting more challenging. And
Oh.
but I just want you to know, honey, I'm here for you. I'm just here for you, and I love you, and I know sometimes you may think I'm crazy or whatever, or but, you're my pride and joy. You're also my first child. I don't I'm the oldest of 7, so you don't have an older brother or sister when you're the oldest. You just gotta kinda figure it out,
Right.
and, the good thing is nobody can usually beat you up until they're all taller than you. But anyway, um, honey, I just love you. That's that has got to be so ironclad in them. And whatever we've done is they can know mom is this, mom is that, dad is this, that, and that, but boy, do they love me. That
Hmm.
that's non-negotiable. And they don't love the ideal version of me that they're judging me against. That's the trouble. We have an image of this, and if they're here, we love this, and we're disappointed at that. I don't want my parents to be disappointed in me. They may not like this or that I do, but I don't want that. I don't want them to love me less. They may be disappointed about what I do. Do they love me less while they're disappointed? So I can be disappointed, but not love less. So there's just, am I covering too much?
No, I mean, I think that's very relevant.
I,
That's an interesting
I
point
tend to
that
I tend to paint like an impressionist, where colors can fly here and there, but I'm trying to be as clear as I can with the heart
yeah.
that I can. But your daughter now is at that age, and she's
Mhm.
setting a pattern for the gang that follows her, the other 4, and
Right.
they're seeing how she's doing. How mom and dad working with this one because I'm coming up. and she'll be your ambassador one way or another. Either she'll close them down or she'll say, "No, you can trust mom and dad." Uh, I talk to them all the time, whatever it is. So, um, that's your pioneer.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a good point to remember for us parents.
Don't put
Yeah.
pressure on them. Don't put pressure. Hey, you're the number one, so you better do it right. No, but that you're kind of cutting your teeth as a parent on this one, and you're learning with all the other ones you got that are younger than that. And but that's your first emerging adult in your parenting life. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, for this, acting responding the way I want to, some things sometimes I tell parents to practice with your spouse, with, yeah, someone sharing sensitive information. I mean, we should be anyway sharing with our spouse, right? And, be able to keep all secrets out in the open with them. So, it's a good practice anyway, but, even in a fun way, like, we could share, something that, "Hey, honey, I'm sorry it was me. I stole the cookies," or "I took that 100 euros out of your pocket." Um, Not so funny, but, and then practice responding in a loving way, to our
Yeah.
spouse, just for the
Yeah.
sake of our kids, yeah,
Oh
so
yeah.
that
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
yeah.
No. No. Well, you're bringing up the main thing, which yeah, you have to have. Well, that's why I'm in this field anyway, because the k the things go better with the kids when the spouses are doing well, and so you
Mhm.
really wanna listen with empathy to your husband, and he listens with empathy to you, and, I mean, that's why I wrote my that's how I got started in this field, is how to make good couple communication, and, but then also, John Gottman, a famous marriage researcher, and others will say, make sure you deposit at least 5, 10, 15, 20 times more good things than the heavy things you deposit or the difficult things with your kid. Um,
Mhm.
so have the good times. Let's go have ice cream together. Let's go do this. Let's go do that. Honey, let's go shopping. Let's go shopping. Um, would you like a new blouse? Let's go. Whatever. Build up the positives so that when challenges come up, it doesn't happen in empty space. It doesn't
Mhm.
happen with no environment. There's already an environment of love and warmth, and then this other thing can come up in that zone that's been created. So, it's important not just to talk to your child only when there's some difficulty going on, or I'm the
Yeah.
available parent when I have something important to talk with you about. No, I wanna just be thinking, "Hey, what can I do this week to just show my child how much I love them?" And I like to use the 3 A's: applaud, admire, appreciate. Applaud means
Mhm.
congratulate them anytime you get a chance. Honey, congratulate, whatever, any child or your husband too, and anybody.
Yeah.
"Oh, really, that was really cool how you did that. That was fantastic. Hey, congratulations on that test you did. Yeah, but I only got a B plus. Yeah, honey, but you did work so hard on that. Just congratulations. Don't just congratulate the A plus, the 4.0. Congratulate the effort. Um, applaud, admire. Hey, I really admire how you're taking care of your younger brother and sister. I just want you to know I'm paying attention. And the way you support him or her, that moves me. Tell your husband that if he helps with homework or this or that. Yeah. I admire how you want to make sure the house is okay and everything's fine. Applaud, admire, appreciate, and just say, I really appreciate you for, be specific if you can. I appreciate how you did this, appreciate how you did this. Thank you. Oftentimes we feel appreciation, but we don't express it.
Mhm.
And when I've taught couples classes, sometimes I'll say, well, you know, tell your tell your partner something you really appreciate about them. And this one gal, I said, well, how did that go? And one woman raised her hand and said, I wondered if my husband appreciated me about that. And he's sitting right next to her while she's standing and talking to the class. I wondered if my husband appreciated me about that. And he's looking like, well, I always did. And then he said, but when I actually heard it, when you actually said it, I knew you did. You removed the
Mm.
shade of gray. And sometimes it's nice just appreciate. People might say, "I didn't even know I did that, but I thank you for appreciating me. I didn't realize it was so meaningful to you." So
Yes.
applaud, admire, appreciate. That's how you water your relationship garden. I use that term with your spouse or with your kids. And then when an issue comes up, you got a garden. It's not
Mm,
barren. You've been watering and caring for on the good things. And so make sure that we add the good things and spend the time doing that, even if we're tired, and that's usually the case. Parents, they're just bushed at the end of the day. But, the words here and there, the pluses, give the pluses. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, man, I'm taking notes here. I love what you're saying, and yeah, just how we need to really be the scale should be much heavier in the fun times, and that's also all about the boot camp that we do is all about this, that we need to build on the connection with our kids.
Yeah.
And, I run these boot camps at least 4 times a year, but every time I notice I really need to hone in on this every time. It's so easy to kind of, yeah, just not prioritize, lose track, or
Mm.
get kinda lost in the guiding side, of parenting.
Mm. Good point.
Um,
Lost on the guiding side. I like how you said that. That's a
mhm.
very important side, but not to neglect the other fun times and other ways that we can skillfully love our children and not just the guiding times.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm really taking notes. And, yeah, so you mentioned that the couple relationship, how this really is modeling for our kids, and, I can totally relate and see in real life how,
Mm.
the kids just feel so much more safe when the parents are
Oh, yeah.
communicating well, and, yeah, they just know kids just feel it when mom and dad are doing well together or not. Um, so yeah, do you think so if we work on that as a couple, do you think kids can just automatically inherit that? I mean, of course, if we work on it as a couple, we'll be practicing with our
Yeah.
kids as well, but yeah, is it just a skill that kids can do by like they can monkey see, monkey do kind of thing?
Well, it's a little bit like that. A lot of there's a phrase out there, communication skills are caught more than taught. And
Mm,
so you'll catch by watching, catch by experiencing, observing, what goes well and what doesn't go well. So they'll watch how mom and dad are doing. First of all, that will create whether or not it's a safe, home or not, where it's warm, where mom and dad, even on a, um and ideally, parents aren't arguing in front of their kids. They're not doing heavy negotiations in front of their kids because that could feel like, "Gee, are we okay?" The kids are, "Is the house gonna fall down?" Um, but, in another room or whatever, "Hey, I'd like to talk with you about this. Is now a good time?" Rather than just blurt it out. That's another thing.
mhm,
I would like to talk with you about this. Is now a good time?" It's not only physical time, it's now a good mental space for you to talk. In other words,
mhm,
now time. And then if the person says yes, then it should be undistracted time to share. But you're right. Um, if the parents focus on each other well, and we worked out our family of origins in our couple, it's amazing how things will come up that why am I acting that way with my
mm,
adult wife or my adult husband when I'm an adult? But I remember when my mom and dad did, then it kinda comes out, because the child that we're born with, that child is still inside, even though we've layered it with more years, and we still got that kid in there. But
sure.
the more we can, uh, improve our communications as couple, I just made a new book called The 5-Minute Couple Check-In. It's at Amazon. Check it out.
Love that
And
title,
so
yeah.
many yeah, but it's kinda guided conversations for 30 days, just briefly, to just Uh, at the end of the day, just check in with each other. How was your day? Tell me any pluses or minuses, and just chill. And
Mhm,
that's how you water your garden, your relationship. But yeah, the kids are watching how mom and dad are doing and whether it's safe to say anything. If mom and dad are shouting at each other or saying nasty things to each other, that will create a chilling environment. The child will feel, well, I don't want to say anything like that because I could get hurt, and
Mhm.
it could be bad for me if I'll be quiet, and then it'll erupt some other way. Um, you know, and so yeah, create a warm environment. Mom and dad, and mom and dad need to go on dates and stuff. I don't know if you say you got 5 kids. I guess you're busy a lot. I hope you carve out times where it's just you and your husband, and you can not only do a 5-minute check-in, but you can just have your 13-year-old take care of the gang, and then you
Yeah.
go out for a couple hours and just and not talk about your kids. We say that you said, when it's time to have a date, don't talk about big issues, just enjoy your time together. Let's try this new restaurant we haven't been at. How you doing? How I first of all, I just love being with you. That's don't talk about when some people when you're doing a couple date, don't talk about the kids. Don't talk about each other. Talk about what your plans are for the year or what you wanna do or maybe a hobby you wanna try. And then have another time to talk about the kids. But when it's time for a couple time, uh, just make sure you enjoy each other's guys. Some people say once a week, it doesn't need to be a
Yeah.
big deal. It could just be an hour. You just get in the car and get out of there and go down the street for a while and then or go for a walk around in a park, and come back.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I mean, your title, 5-minute couple check-in, was it, of
Yeah,
this, book?
the 5-minute couple check-in. I just
The
put it
5-minute.
that's my 11th book, and I just put it up there 2 days ago. 3 days ago at
Yeah.
Amazon.com, but it's at Amazon dot what do you got, DE? I think that is
Yes.
that's registered
Yeah,
site.
here in Germany, it's DE, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, and then .co.uk and everything else. So, yeah, it's all over. Great
Yeah,
for
because
yeah,
5 minutes.
I'm working on the Kindle today because you gotta reformat it to get on a device, right? And
Alright.
yeah.
Yeah, so 5 minutes, everyone has 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah,
There's
yeah,
no
and here's another one, which is maybe my better one. This is called a couples communication workbook. And what does it say?
let me look
20
at it.
minutes a day for 12 days. So it's like a workshop in a book. And I think you'll find it useful. Couples communication workbook.
Alright, guys.
Boy,
Couples
I can send
communication
you all my
workbook.
I got a bunch of
Guys, we
oh,
gotta check out Bento,
oh,
Leal on Amazon, okay? That's our homework. Buy one of the books.
well,
But
enjoy it. Yeah, I hope you enjoy it.
yeah, but, I my husband and I, we have done dates. It was something we prioritized once a week. Just in our current lifestyle, it has been neglected, and, sometimes I don't know. Yeah, we make excuses like, "Oh, it's just so hard to manage," we have a, 8-month-old baby, um, but it is somehow manageable, and, I don't know, it was a few weeks ago, we made time for it, our we put our so we were living in a caravan, and we put our baby to bed, and the rest of the kids were playing, but also watching him. It's a small space, so everybody sees each other. And there was a restaurant right next door, and so we're like, "Let's go grab a croissant and coffee over there." And, it's just a simple thing like that, but it makes such a difference, and,
Yeah.
just to connect like that, I just encourage all of us to do this. In the past, because we don't have a babysitter, we would put the kids all to bed, and we would order food and have a date in the house,
You can do that.
uh,
Yeah.
kind of late at night, but still, it's a date, and,
That's
it was
right.
really
That's
worth it.
right.
Yeah.
You don't have to that's a good point. You don't have to leave the house. It's just that our couple time, now that it's safely couple time, the kids are in bed. Is your baby on formula or not?
No,
Are
he's breastfed, so
so even if
we could
that's
be
the case,
interrupted.
we gotta take him along with us, but he's not gonna enter the conversation. He may he may quietly interrupt a couple of things, but we could put the lid over this, right? And we could be in a restaurant. I don't know how y'all do if he needs to be breastfed or whatever, but anyway, we can have our couple time no matter what. I think that's great. Or if you can put the kids down in like you say, the caravan, and then you go to a little place. It doesn't need to be a long time. So whether you like a
Yeah.
half hour, 45 minutes, you just over there having a croissant. Is that what you said?
Yep. Croissant, cappuccino.
and just catch up with each other. How you doing? And say nice things to each other. And I love how you look. You always look pretty to me. You know, you know, I love your hair. You know,
Yeah, I mean, there's so much to talk about, and, like, I love sharing about many things, and, like, my mind is going like this, and I feel like I need to update my husband with, like, everything that's going on up here, and it's really hard during the day, their kids are talking
yeah,
loudly, and,
yeah,
we
yeah,
wanna give them our attention, right? So, it's really
yeah,
nice, like you said,
yeah,
to carve out that
yeah.
time.
Yeah, it's carve out the time. It's kind of like carve out the time to change the oil in your car. I'm driving too much. I don't have time for an oil change. I don't have time for an oil change. Okay,
Mm.
well, do you have time for a blown engine? No.
Mm.
So no, I'm driving. I don't have time to get gas. I don't have time to. No, 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 no. I get it. I'm in a hurry. I'm in a hurry. Well, do you have a time to run out of gas on the freeway? So you know, so
Exactly.
we if you break your arm, do you have time to go to? Yeah, you're going to go to the doctor. So, but I'm using examples, but we want to treat couple time as serious as any other quote unquote major appointment. You
Yeah.
don't have time to miss a plane either. So you're gonna get there early to the airport because you don't wanna miss the flight. Well, if we just keep kicking out the can down the road of our couple talk and it goes from a week to a month to 3 months we haven't gone on a date, you can get apart even though you're busy. You can get emotionally kinda a little bit distant. And, even though you're busy and love each other, yada but, so I'm glad that you're, addressing that. And
Yes.
it's hard during busy 5-kid time. Your youngest is how old? 5? No, 8 months.
8
So,
months.
8 months. So you got a gang in there. And,
Yeah.
yeah, boys and girls. You got a boy, you got a girl, what do you got in between?
We got 2 girls and 3 boys.
That's a
It's
lot of
like girl, girl, boy, boy, boy.
that's a lot of laundry. And a
Yeah.
lot of toilet paper, holy smoke. But a lot of
That's why
diapers.
we're in a caravan. We use public toilets at the campsite.
Oh,
No,
okay. Alright.
we don't have to buy so much toilet paper, actually.
Oh, so you're at a
So we're good.
campsite. Oh, that's cool. Okay, good.
Yeah, that's been our life for the last few months.
Wow.
Yeah,
Well, that could
but
be exciting. That could be also busy.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
You figured it out. You figured it out.
it's many things, yeah. We've learned a lot in the last few months.
So whatever
Yeah,
your structure is, not some people you're in a campsite. A lot of people on watching this or hearing this are not at campsites, but whatever your circumstance is, um, have couple time. And maybe
yes,
some parents here that are single parents of one way or another. They're not with a co-parent in the house, but how to have me time, how to have me and my friend time. My girlfriend or my guy, my buddy, go to lunch together. My, I mean, my wife ha my girl have girlfriend, boy, big well, get your friends, okay?
mhm.
I'm not married and have a girlfriend, don't misunderstand. My wife is my gal, okay? She's my gal, 47 years almost. That's it,
Wow.
that's all I need. But anyway, um yeah, self-care is important. People think, well, isn't that selfish? And no, self-care, you got to take care of yourself. If you don't drink water, isn't water self-care? Well, I hope so, because if you're dehydrated, you're not going to be much good to anybody else. So make sure you get the self-nutrition so that you have the wherewithal to offer to others. But don't get
Mhm,
so spent out that you run out of gas on the freeway of life. So,
exactly.
blow the engine.
Yeah, we've had that with our caravan. Well, it was a pop tire,
Right.
and
Yeah,
we
I
were
know.
stuck for 4 hours, so
Oh, yeah, we
yeah,
don't we don't have
takes
enough
a lot
money
more
for an
time.
oil change, so we're just gonna go and blow the oh, how much money you got? Okay. I've seen it.
Yeah,
I've seen it
yeah,
happen. I haven't had it happen, but I've seen it happen. But anyway. Well,
yeah.
Amelia, do you have more questions? Is there more? I mean, this is
Yeah,
exciting. I don't know what you wanna
yeah, I just wanna address because I think lots of parents experience this, because we're talking about when things get tense, and sometimes as a parent, maybe we're fine with our kids, but someone else outside of the family is not fine. Maybe
Yeah.
our kids were too loud for them or what have you, sometimes our kids do some things that trigger other people.
Yeah.
Um, so I want to ask you about this kind of situation.
Yeah, that's a good question. Where somebody is upset at something your child has said and done, and they've said something harsh to your child or something like that. Is that and you're
Yeah, I
concerned?
mean, maybe they said it directly to the kids, or maybe they're saying it to you as a parent.
Well,
Could be either one.
one thing that could be done, and you want to listen. Okay, so you're upset at my child because of this, that, and the other thing. Is that correct? So you can say back the essence of what you heard. That's the listening skill. You
Mhm.
want to make sure you want to stay calm. It's hard to be calm. It's
It's
easy
hard.
to be calm right now, but it's hard to be calm. Okay?
Mm,
But if you can be calm and say, okay, so you're upset my child said this or that. Then you can even say, I can understand to show empathy to their upsetness. I can understand how they upset you. But but please don't talk to my child like that. If you have something to say, please talk to me and I'll talk to them. But don't talk to my child like that. I don't appreciate that. But I can understand that you are upset. Um, but I'm their parent, so you can just tell me. And
mhm,
you don't need- so, or if somebody rages at you, you say, okay, so you're upset about my child did this or that. Okay, but just if we could calm down for a second, I want to understand you, but I really appreciate if you don't yell at me. If we can have a conversation, I'll feel better to talk about it and work through it because you're a parent, I'm a parent. We're trying to work it out with our kids. So try to calm the storm. That's a bit
mhm.
calm your own storm internally and help calm their storm. Otherwise, two stormy people talking together, it's not going to work. So they won't think right. They won't speak right. Um, but if the emotions can calm down and put the prefrontal cortex on top of your game,
Yeah,
instead of your emotions on top of your game, put your thinking on top, then better things can happen. And it could be a learning occasion for everybody. Then
yeah,
this incident can be very instructive going forward on how to relate to people when you're upset. Um, yeah, that would be something I would say is I can understand how you feel that way to show empathy rather than defense. Oh, my child, no. Okay, so I can see how that you're upset by that. But please don't talk to my child the way you did. Um,
mhm.
that's that's there's no reason to do that. You can talk to me, but I don't appreciate how you did that. So in a sense, you're protecting your child, um, but ask him to talk to you. I don't know if that's
Yeah,
that helpful.
yeah, that is,
I'd show empathy to that person. I can see how
mhm,
you're upset by what my child said or did. Right away, that
yeah,
can help calm the storm because they might think you're going to be very reactive now. They're getting ready for a fight because you're the protective parent. But if they know that you're the understanding parent, not only for your kid but for this person, then they can lower their defense and then maybe even say, yeah, I shouldn't have yelled at your kid like I did. I'm sorry, but he did upset me or she did upset me. Okay, I can see how you're upset. But, yeah, talk to me and I'll talk to my child, trust me. Yeah, it's important that I talk to them about that, but, yelling at them, I find that yelling doesn't work. I've done it myself,
mhm,
find it doesn't work. And you can show empathy to that parent. So, anyway, that I would do that. That's probably the best.
yeah, 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 responding with love, I think, is always the way to win. I just wanna empathize with all parents, like, this is really not, a given. It's tough, and I think we have to learn to do this and practice doing it.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Everything I'm
but
talking about here is great on paper. It all smells right, tastes right, looks right, reads right, but in the heat of the moment, nobody's pulling out their book saying, "Let me see how I'm supposed to respond here with that." But you could
Yeah,
inculcate these things so that when, uh, yeah, they you practice you practice in peacetime for things you might need to use in wartime. So, I mean,
Exactly.
that's easy said, but that's what military does all the time. That's what coaches in sports do all the time in football or soccer, you call it football over there, American football or soccer or English football. I love Premier League. I watch it all the time, by the way, especially and you guys got Kane over there in Germany, right? Oh, yeah, yeah, you got Kane over there, Bayern. But anyway,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
well, I watch the highlights. I'm not gonna sit through 3 hours of a game. But anyway, point is, in the coaches practice difficult times within the team, so that in real-time game, it's more instinctive about what I should do. I don't have to think
Mhm.
about it too much. I already know what I'm supposed to be doing. In wartime, you try to make it so it goes like that because you've been practicing. Why did I bring this up? So you want you wanna practice good communication, uh, all the time. Listening with empathy to try to understand. Not every conversation's a real deep point. If my wife says, "Bento, I'm gonna go to the store," then I'm not gonna sit there and say, "Okay, so honey, I feel like you wanna go to the store because you" No, but if she says, "Bento, I just got off the phone with my brother and his cancer is getting worse." Well, then I gotta pause everything and say, "Okay, honey, tell me more. What's going on?" So that's a more serious thing than I'm gonna go to the store. Do I need to get 2 dozen eggs or 1? So you can tell if something's the tenor of something, or you can just say, "There's something really important I need to talk with you about. Can we
Mhm.
talk now?" Then that lets them know, "Oh, I better shut down the phone, turn off the TV, and
Yeah.
listen."
Create the space, yeah.
Create the space. Well, we talk about the family as a school of love. Yeah, but the life is a school of love. If the world's your family, if human beings are
Mm.
your family, then everybody's your brother and sister, right? Even the person
Yeah.
on the other side of the counter at the grocery store. So we wanna, practice at home and then take it out of the house and learn as we go. We probably learn more from our mistakes than from
Yeah.
the things we do, right?
Yeah,
Anyway.
I mean, just this situation of someone yelling at the kids, and I feel like if this would happen, I think our kids, they would be very alert to see my reaction. I feel like, they would be very curious to see, oh, how is mom going to react to
Oh,
this?
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
I think they would really learn a lot also if I could respond so lovingly like you showed us. And so, yeah, I think it's it's really great if we can just keep this in mind and, because we want this for our kids' sake and we want it,
Yeah,
for
just
other people's sake.
and this goes to empathic listening. Try to keep empathic listening in mind. Try to feel what the other person's saying, whether it's good or negative or whatever. Try to see it from their point of view before you just charge in with your point of view. Empathy means to feel with or feel into, whereas sympathy means to feel for somebody. You're kind of outside, you feel for them, but empathy means to feel with or into. Try to see it from their point of view. And
Mhm.
if you practice that daily, then in triggering moments, perhaps that habit will be more available to use because it's not something you forgot about or haven't been using. You'll maybe be more adept at drawing
Mhm.
on that. So listen with empathy. That's the most important thing I've found. Listening with empathy, um, and then you'll speak more empathically. You'll respond more empathically. Um,
Yeah.
the hardest thing is to calm down. It's just hard to calm down when you're upset.
Breathe, count to
Yeah,
10.
breathe. That's right. So
Yeah.
some people say breathe. Um,
Mhm.
I've had people say, "Well, wait a minute, Bento, I'm feeling 1,000 degrees." Some upset guy, right? "I'm feeling 1,000 degrees. If I wait till I get it down to 200, it's not gonna be authentic. It feels 1,000, I should give 1,000." I said, "Well, wait a minute. When does 1,000 ever work for you? When you blurt out and blow a hole in the wall and suck the whole family out the window, um, has that ever worked for you? Well?" And the answer is, it really hasn't. So, okay, so when you wanna be heard and you get too hot and heavy, then people put up a defense.
Mhm.
Well, bring a bazooka now. Well, then they get a thicker defense. Nobody wants to get hurt. But if you use an iMessage and you use the XYZ I talked about at the beginning, then They don't feel I'm gonna get hurt, so I don't need to have a defensive wall. I can be open to hear what
Mhm.
and if you want them to be open to hear what you have to say, then make it safe to be open. Nobody's gonna be able to be open if they're gonna get stung. So, that's why empathic listening is important and empathic speaking. Speak in a way that you would like to be spoken to, okay? How would you like somebody to talk to you about this? Would you wanna be impaled, or would you wanna be spoken with respect? Well, everybody wants to be respected. I teach in
Yeah.
jail, I teach in prison,
Mm.
in churches and family resource centers. I don't care where it is. I've taught thousands of people in 20 years. I've been with criminals in the small room and the round table, and I've been with, you name it, and everybody wants to be respected.
Yeah.
And when I've been in some of these jail situations where guys have done serious stuff, um, when I hear their story, I'm thinking, "Man, if that was me, I'd probably be sitting where you're at." If that was my childhood journey, I'm
Mm.
sitting where you are. I think like I don't say that, but then I think I've been fortunate not to have that journey. But, um, when I listen to these guys, I've had guys tell me, you know, bad dudes, okay, heavy duty dudes, talk to me, and I listen to them, I've had guys tell me to my face, "Nobody's ever listened to me like that in my life.
Mm. Wow.
I don't even Bento, I don't even know you. I don't know you. In fact, you came in as this middle-aged white guy. That's the kind of guy that threw me in here.
Mm.
I know that." And so here I'm talking to this guy. I'm listening to this guy. Try to put myself in his shoes. I've never been in those shoes, but I'm trying to empathy be there. Guys have told me, nobody's ever listened to me like that. And I'm thinking, I'm so sorry I'm sometimes say, I'm sorry that's been your journey, but I want you to know that this moment I'm listening to you and I want to understand you. Maybe that's a little bit of healing ointment for this guy, but in my heart, I'm thinking, dang it, I wish you had a mom or a dad or a brother or sister or somebody that listened to you. Otherwise, your journey might have been very different.
Yeah.
Very different. But I wanna give the guy hope. So I've been but then you don't have to be in jail, physical jail to be incarcerated. You can be incarcerated in your heart, walking around as a free person, but in jail because nobody's listening to you. I
Mhm.
use that and now that's a true story. People are walking around, but they're incarcerated in their heart. They're not able to share. In physical jail, you know you're in jail. But otherwise, you think you're free, but you're not free. So when somebody is listening, it lets you out of jail. You can be free. Somebody gets me. I'm covering a lot of ground here, Amelia, but see, these questions touch me to the soul. It's not just
Yeah.
academic for me. This is not an academic experience for me. This topic is not academic. This is soulful. This is essential. Um, if I were to die tonight or in the next hour, I would consider this valuable moment because this is what it's all about
Yeah.
for me. And so, um, life is about learning how to be a loving person. I believe that, right? Family is a school of love. We just graduate with a bigger heart as we go. So anyway, bless you. I've covered so
Bless
much
you.
ground. Hope you're all right. I've let you let the horses out of the barn, and boy, they ran. They ran. Here we.
They've gone around the earth, and
I
I
I
think
I guess so, but I I I I love every
yeah.
rabbit trail I've ever been. been. So it's hard to just keep on tunnel vision. But anyway, um, well, okay. Are you all right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, thank you so much
Is this
for
one coherent enough? Has this been okay? You're
this has been really great. I think there's so much to take from this podcast and, from this episode, and yeah, I think this is just really inspiring for us parents to be that person, like, to be that listener for our kids,
yeah.
and yeah, and when things get tense to first focus on the loving side, how can I calm down? Let's practice calming down. Let's practice, reacting with love.
Mm,
And I mean, also, sometimes we do have, we want our kid to win in life, right? We want to pass on whatever wisdom we've accumulated. I think it's our human nature, our parental nature, but yeah, like your tips are really helpful, I think, to let it hit home the way we want it to. Because if our kid is not ready for that,
Mm.
then why share it, right? Why give them something they don't want to don't want to hear? But at the same time, yeah, we need to keep connecting, investing into our relationship. So I feel when we do that, then they're generally more ready for, what we want to share. Um, yeah, like the other day I had my husband and I, we had our blessing anniversary, and I just shared a whole testimony, like, of our matching time, and both of us also came from a broken blessing. We had that in our past, so I shared about this, and then, gaining some momentum in life to get matched once again, and then blessed, and, you
Wow.
know, and something beautiful coming from that, and so, my kids were just listening and
Wow.
taking it in, and I
Oh,
feel like,
so you were sharing with your kids around. Well, mom and
yeah,
dad were sharing, you were shar okay, okay, I get it, okay. The
yeah.
family, okay.
And, yeah, so, like, I wasn't really giving direct guidance, but I feel like it's these moments where
Yeah.
you can just build up these moments where you just share authentically, and, your kids take from that
Oh,
whatever they need.
oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, mom and dad, this boat is not gonna sink. I'm on the right boat with mom and dad. We're floating. I don't care what's happening. This thing is gonna make it. No, that's a safe zone. Beautiful,
Safe
thank
zone, yeah, family should be the safe zone. Yeah.
well,
Yeah,
that's
I love
beautiful.
it.
That's beautiful that you shared from both 2 heartache situations. You said a broken
Mhm.
in your marriage before to now having trust again to take another
Right.
chance and to believe that God is there, and I'm gonna take a step. I've
Mhm.
done a step before, it didn't work, but I'm gonna try again because it's where I'd like to go, and then God help me, and then now to see how you've found a deeper something precious there, and maybe the I don't know, but maybe the pain of these other experiences had made it even more precious and more deliberate, knowing that
Mm,
it's not automatic, that you have to
sure, yeah.
it's not just that God just makes it happen. You have to invest in it to make it work because when it doesn't go that way, it goes that way. And so, you're both intentional about your relationship. How
Yeah.
beautiful that is, and the kids can just if they hear that whole story, that's that's gorgeous. That's really prep time for them. Wow, look how mom and dad are. These are cool people. If possible, you wanna be a cool
I don't
parent.
know if they thought that exactly, but
What do you think about your parents? They're cool. That's the A plus. If you can get that from a 13-year-old or 11-year-old, how do your parents like? "Oh, they're just cool." A plus.
that's
Okay.
high praise
High
from a
praise.
13-year-old.
Oh, yeah. Nothing gets better than that. Uh,
Yeah, thank you so much,
well, thank
Bento,
you,
and,
Amelia. Well,
I mean, I
bless
feel
you.
like we could go on and keep giving wisdom, but we gotta end
Oh,
this
yeah, we
at
could do
some
another
point.
time, but I'm very honored for your invitation, and I just wanna say to your audience, bless you out there, if I don't see you, but, we're fellow travelers, and I'm with you, and I know Amelia is, and I'm just here to participate in this journey as, your brother here. So, we're all on the same planet, so here we go.
Yeah.
Been with
Thank you,
love.
guys.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Bento. We'll
Alright, thank
definitely
you,
have to
Amelia. Alrighty.
we'll have to have you on once again sometime, but, yeah, take care, and thank you so much for this episode.
Thank you.